How is it going, Bears fans? Welcome back to another episode of the Bear Down podcast, where we talk everything Bears every day of the week. Today, we are back making our broke down and detailed Week 5 picks. The Bears on October 10th, I believe, tomorrow, head to Allegiant Stadium, the afternoon slate game. They are going to face off with the Las Vegas Raiders. Justin Fields' first game as the eminent starter. We're going to be breaking it all down for you guys today. But before we get into this episode, do us a favor if you haven't already. Drop a like, subscribe, follow. We're trying to bring you guys Bears content every day of the week. We'll be posting a post game tomorrow after the game is over. I'm your host, Chris Malpe, today to talk about this in a little bit of a shorter, more modified episode. I am joined with my co-host, Parth Shaw. Parth, how's it going, my man?
Doing pretty good. Nice little Saturday morning, just getting some relaxation in, I guess. Got some good college football tonight, and then obviously the Bears play tomorrow, so excited for that. And yeah, just been, I guess, sad after the White Sox losses. I didn't really want to bring it up.
Oh, yeah.
It's been tough. Going down 0-2 is no fun, especially in a 3-game series or a 5-game series. It's basically wraps. Hopefully we don't get swept. That's what I'm going to say.
Oh, man, yeah. I feel bad for the White Sox. It's giving me like 07, 08
Endless pain,
vibes.
man. There's never anything good in Chicago sports.
It's giving me 07, 08 Cubs vibes, where the team had a really good run and then they get to the playoffs and work so hard for a couple of years to get to that point and then just get crunched. But I mean, the White Sox are a good team. They'll definitely be back, but I can't even begin to explain how big of a weekend it is for me. I've got the Iowa Hawkeyes. I'm a huge Iowa fan. They've got Penn State tonight. Bears tomorrow have a huge game. So really big weekend for me. We're recording a little bit of a dummy down episode today because I've got work and it's just such a big day. But before we get into it, we're basically just going to be making our picks today, letting you guys know who we've got in this one. Let's get to our sponsored message from our 2021-2022 season sponsors over at CBDX. Guys, CBDX.com is not your average CBD company. We've all tried CBD before, and none of it is the real deal. CBDX, on the other hand, really is the real deal, and they ship right to your front door. Right now, our listeners get 20% off their orders at CBDX.com with promo code BD. They make delicious gummies, amazing flour, and tremendous cartridges, and all products look, smell, taste, and feel the same. They actually work. CBDX loves football, and that's why they are here. Show them some love today and support the show by you getting 20% off, and you also get a free gift from CBDX when our listeners use code BD at CBDX.com. The link is in the top of the description. CBDX, thank you so much for sponsoring. Now let's get back into the podcast. All right, Parth, a little bit of a shorter one today. Just talking about the game, not really going through our whole spiel. It's been a little bit of a shorter week for us, obviously. The sponsorships haven't been so rampant. We've been a little bit slacking on the videos this week. Missed 3 key matchups and missed Fan Mail Friday, but we're going to go right past that. Just get into our thoughts on the game here, Parth. Obviously, the Bears heading to Las Vegas tomorrow, taking on the 3-1 Raiders, playing there in the AFC West. The Bears have a 35.9% chance to win this one per ESPN's matchup predictor. They are 5.5-point underdogs with an over-under at this game set for 45 points. So overall, just give me your thoughts on this game heading into it.
Heading into it, I'm excited. Obviously, to see Justin Fields start and being named the starter, I can't be more excited for that. I think it's the right decision. I think Matt Nagy was definitely told by upper management, was influenced at least to start Fields. But nevertheless, Fields is starting, and I think we're headed the right direction. Obviously, with David Montgomery out, we're going to be a lot more, I guess, going to lean on Damien Williams a lot more this game, and I'm excited to see that. You know, a former, I guess, basically almost won Super Bowl MVP. I thought he deserved it that game. He played lights out in that Super Bowl game against the Niners when he was on the Chiefs. But he was a great back for the Kansas City Chiefs whenever he was put in. I think he'll be serviceable and get the job done this weekend. I don't have any worries in that department. What worries me is this defense. This Raiders offense has been able to put up points this year so far. Derek Carr has been able to move the ball downfield. He's used Henry Ruggs to stretch the field. So the Bears secondary definitely needs to watch out for those deep balls because John Gruden's definitely going to dial up some shots. We saw We saw that against, I think, was it
The
the Colts?
Chargers.
Chargers, Colts, every team that they've played so far, basically, they've attempted to throw the ball downfield, and Derek Carr's been pretty good at it so far this year. He's had a pretty good season, something that a lot of people should have saw coming. I thought he played really well last year as well, so he's just been improving on that. The Raiders defensively are going to be struggling. Their top two corners are going to be out this weekend, so I'm expecting Allen Robinson and Darnell Mooney to take over for sure. I'll let Chris talk about more of the offense stuff.
Yeah, I mean, offensively, the Bears should be able to have a good day. You just mentioned those two corners for the Raiders are going to be out. That is a huge disadvantage for them. So I think Justin Fields will actually be able to put together a pretty nice game. They've got good front seven, obviously. Denzel Perryman, Max Crosby, Carl Nassib there with good depth for them. Yannick Ngakoue. They've got a pretty good front seven over there in Las Vegas. And even though I think the pressure is going to be coming and the Bears' offensive tackles are going to be dealing with a lot, I don't think Justin Fields is going to go down 9 times. I think he's going to be able to have a successful day getting the ball downfield. The Raiders have also been a little suspect against the run, allowing 132.3 rushing yards on average to opposing teams. So that's something that's in the Bears' favor. Defensively, man, you just got to do what you got to do. The Bears' front seven has to stand up, keep doing their thing, keep shutting down the run. They've only allowed just about 110 rushing yards per game. They've done pretty good in that department. You've got to get pressure on Derek Carr. Joey Bosa said it last week. He'll crumble up like a ball if you put pressure on him. So Robert Quinn, it's going to be another big game for him. He's had 4.5 sacks so far this season. Khalil Mack's questionable for this one. We're going to see Akeem Hicks out for this one. So it's going to be Bilal Nichols and Eddie Goldman, but Mack's going to definitely play in this one. I mean, it's against his former team. He's questionable for darn near every game that the Bears play. So defensively, it's going to be tough to stop guys like Renfro, who's going to be in the slot, someone who gets comparisons to Cooper Kupp, who ate up the Bears a couple of weeks ago. It's going to be tough to stop guys like Henry Ruggs. It's going to be tough to stop guys like Darren Waller. But if you can shut down the run, make Oakland one-dimensional, Derek Carr is definitely a good quarterback. There's no denying that. But if you can get some pressure on him, man, we saw him struggle last week, and then I think the Bears have to attack the field vertically, defensive or offensively, if they want to win this one. I mean, obviously that's the way to
go.
With Arnett so I think this is a game. Yeah, I think this is a game where Chicago can stay competitive for sure. I'm not entirely sure if they're going to win it, but I think this Raiders team is worse than the other two teams that the Bears have played that they've lost to this season. I think the Rams would beat the Raiders. I also think the Browns would beat the Raiders. So I think the Bears will be able to stay more competitive in this one, and it's going to be a better game than a lot of people think. So, Parth, let's head into our picks. This is going to be interesting, man. You chose the Lions last week. The Bears ended up winning that one. Justin Fields, obviously, now getting the nod to start for the Bears. Who you got in this one? Who you got in this one, my man?
I'm going to go with the Raiders. I hate picking against the Bears, but this Raiders team is 3-1. They're coming off a loss to the Chargers, who I believe are going to be a playoff team this year. But Derek Carr has been playing a pretty good season so far, and especially with Josh Jacobs, I think, coming back. I think he'll be fully healthy for our game. Peyton Barber, also another running back that they used a couple weeks ago, and he popped off. I think that defense is spotty. That I hope the Bears can take advantage of that. I would love to see Justin, stretch the ball downfield like he did last week. I think he can do that against this Raiders defense. I don't know if he will. That's the thing. Taking the Bears is hard, especially with a rookie quarterback under center. And knowing that David Montgomery won't be there this week really makes me lean on the Raiders. So I got the Raiders winning this one 27-24.
Ironically, I've got the Bears by the exact same score. I've got to differentiate it a little bit from you. I'm going to go the Bears 27-24, and here's why. I really think there is a glaring hole in the Raiders secondary. We saw Justin Herbert throw 3 passing touchdowns in the first half last week against this team, and it put them on top and got them in a position where they could kind of go on cruise control in the second half and easily win the game. We also saw the Chargers have a pretty good rushing attack last week. And while I am a little bit weary about David Montgomery being out, I do have trust in Damien Williams. I have trust in the Bears front seven on defense. I do think the pressure is going to get there to Derek Carr, and it's going to be a more competitive game than a lot of people think. I think we see Justin Fields finally get in the end zone through the air in this one. I would like to see the Bears I would like to see the Bears get Allen Robinson going. That's something they haven't been able to do the entire season, but with the Raiders having Trayvon Mullen and also Damon Arnett out in this one, it looks like Robinson's going to be going up against someone like an Amik Robertson, who he should have a size advantage against. So I'm going to pick the Bears slightly in this one. I know it's a risky pick, and I'm probably going to end up being let down. But regardless, I think it's going to be a good game. I think Justin Fields will have a successful day, hopefully. And maybe we can have a good weekend of football, man. I'm going to be stressing all weekend just because of the Hawkeyes and the Bears. So at least maybe if one of them can win, I'll be in a good enough spirit heading into next week. But thank you guys so much for listening into our Week 5 pregame show. If you want more content, head to our website, beardown.com. The link is at the top of the description. If you'd like to find the podcast on Instagram or Twitter, you can find it on both platforms at Bear Down. We're going to be giving away a Justin Fields jersey this month, so be sure to head to our social media pages and enter that giveaway once it is out. And finally, you can find the links to our social media pages down in the description, my Instagram, my Twitter, as well as Parse. You can see our thoughts on all things Bears, all things National Football League, and the entirety of Chicago sports. Parse Shaw, a little bit of a dummied down pregame show today, but I'm glad we were able to get our picks out here and talk about the game a little bit. Any last words before we head into Week 5?
Yeah, no, definitely a little short one, especially for a pregame show. Usually they're like 20, 25 minutes long. But, the Raiders are 3-1. The Bears are 2-2. We got to win this one. It's a must win because the games just get harder on from here on out. We've said it all year that the schedule is tough and there's no free win in the NFL. This might be one of our, I guess, non-toughest opponent for the next couple of weeks because I think they just get harder. And
our
harder.
Toughest, non-toughest opponent.
Yeah. I mean, the Raiders are also 3-1. Their defense is the only thing that makes them a weak team right now. I think that offense can score a lot of points to hang with a lot of other offenses. That's for sure. But, I'm excited for this one. It's a little 4:25 game or 4:05 game. I like the mid-slot. It's nice to get a little afternoon game, the first one of the season. So super pumped.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a good game. I mean, obviously the Bears are now entering a stretch where they're going to play the Raiders, the Packers, the Buccaneers, the 49ers with Trey Lance, and the Steelers. So something I love about the NFL, and it's a blessing and a curse, is that anyone can beat anyone on any given day. The Raiders are typically a team in the past that we've seen crumble around the middle of the season, and we might see them entering this downward spiral here soon as we move down the stretch. So it's going to be a big game for them as well. Will they revert back to 3-2? Will they still be competitive and get to 4-1? I believe the Bears have a fighting shot in this one, and they'll be able to succeed offensively. So give Justin Fields the ball. Let him run wild. I think it's going to be a good game, a lot more competitive than a lot of people think. And also, I agree with you, man. That afternoon slot's a lot of fun. So a jam-packed weekend of football should be a good one, guys. Be sure to stay tuned in. Drop a like, subscribe, follow if you haven't already. If you're listening on YouTube, let us know down in the comments how you think the Week 5 game is going to go. But it's been a pleasure to be your host. Once again, my name is Chris Maltby, and Bears fans, as always, do us a favor and stay safe and bear down. We'll have a Week 5 post-game show coming out tomorrow night, probably around when Sunday Night Football is getting kicked off. Great game between the Bills and the Chiefs, but just know that a video is coming from us. We're trying to put out the most comprehensive Bears coverage on the web. And that's pretty much it, fellas. We'll see you tomorrow night. Bear down, stay safe,